I'm Josh Wells. We're here aboard Stargazer tonight so that Nikki can give a party. A haunted party. She's so amusing. There will be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Chapter 5. It was on a dreary night of October that I beheld the accomplishments of my toils. With an anxiety that almost amounted to agony, I collected the instruments of life around me, that I might infuse a spark of being into the lifeless thing that lay at my feet. It was already late in the evening. The rain pattered dismally against the panes, and my candle was nearly burned out. When by the glimmer of a half-extinguished light, I saw the dull eye of Stargazer open. She breathed hard, and a convulsed motion agitated the hall. How do I describe my emotions at this catastrophe? Or how delineate the wretch whom with such infinite pain and care I had endeavored to form? Her fittings were in proportion, and I had selected her features as beautiful. Beautiful. Great God! Her yellow skin scarcely covered the workings of muscles and arteries beneath. Her hatch was of a lustrous black, her bow of a pearly whiteness. But those luxuriousnesses only formed more of a hideous contrast from her watery eyes that seemed almost the same color as the deep, cold water in which she sailed. The different accidents of life are not so changeable as the feelings of human nature. I worked hard for nearly 2 years for the sole purpose of infusing life into an inanimate object. For this, I have deprived myself of rest and health. I had desired it with a passion that far exceeded moderation. Now that I had finished, the beauty of the dream vanished, and the breathless horror and disgust filled my heart. Unable to endure the aspect of the vessel I had created, I rushed out of the room and continued along traversing the main stateroom, unable to compose my mind to sleep. At length, lassitude succeeded to the tumult I had before endured. I threw myself on the bed in my clothes, endeavoring to seek a few moments of forgetfulness. But it was all in vain. I slept indeed, but I was disturbed by the wildest of dreams. I started from my sleep with horror. A cold dew covered my forehead. My teeth chattered, and every limb became convulsed. When by the dim and yellow light of the moon, as it forced its way through the window shutter, I beheld the wretch, the miserable monster whom I had created. Her eyes, if eyes they may be called, were fixed on me. Her throttle opened, and she muttered some inarticulate sounds, while a grin wrinkled across the water. She might have spoken, but I didn't hear. During the rest of the night, traveling up and down in the greatest of agitation, listening attentively, catching and fearing each sound as if it were to announce the approach of the demonic corpse to which I had so miserably given life. Oh, no mortal could support the horror of that countenance. A mummy again endued with animation could not be so hideous as that wretch. I gazed on her while unfinished. She was ugly then. But when those gears and wires were rendered capable of motion, it became a thing such as even Dante could not convey. I passed the night wretchedly. Sometimes my pulse beat so quickly and oddly that I felt the palpitation of every artery. At others, I nearly sank to the ground through languor and extreme weakness. Mingled with this horror, I feel the bitterness of disappointment. The dreams that had been my food and pleasant rest for so long, a space now has become hell to me, and the change was so rapid, the overthrow so complete. Morning, dismal and wet, at length dawned and discovered to my sleepless, achy eyes the marina. Its white boathouse and clock, which indicated the 6th hour. The porter opened the gates to the court, which had been my asylum. I issued into the waterway, pacing them with quick prop, as if I sought to avoid the wretch whom I feared every turn of the wheel would present itself to my view. I did not dare return to the dock in which I inhabited, but I felt impelled to hurry on. Although drenched by rain which poured from the black and comfortless sky, I continued traveling in this manner for some time, endeavoring by bodily exercise to ease the load that weighed upon my mind. I traversed the waters without a clear concept of where I was or what I was doing. My heart palpitated in the sickness of fear, and I hurried on with irregular motion, not daring to look about me.
Like one who, on a lonesome road, doth walk in fear and dread, and having once turned round, walks on, and turns no more his head, because he knows a frightful fiend doth close behind him tread.
Do not go gently into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words are forked, no lightning they, do not go gently into that good night. Good men that last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in the green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sung the sun in the fight and learned too late they grieved it its way. Do not go gently into that good night. Grave men near death who sees with the blinding light. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gently into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. All that I once loved lies in a shallow grave by my hand. I followed the trail she left for me. North. Always north. I'm tired now. So tired. The devil made me do it. How that tired old phrase has been used in infinite varieties to explain why you should like and subscribe to keep up with our adventures aboard good old Stargazer. Have a ghoulish Halloween, cruiser. We love ya. Be safe. See you soon.